This is a bird's eye maple Sheraton bureau, and it is gorgeous. The figuring in that wood was accented intentionally, of course. It's called bird's eye maple because those. But anyway, it's a beautiful chest, and I've spent I picked it up. I thought I got a really good deal on it, but it had some problems I needed to fix. One of them was this piece of beading right here was missing, so I had to get a piece of maple, and I machined it down and stained it and made it look as close as I could. The locks on this drawer and this drawer didn't work, so I took them out. This one's been fixed already. I took them out. You can see there's two. This is the way the screws looked back in the 1830s. But you can see where it was curved out, and I've got the lock over on the bench to open it up and figure out what went wrong. Now, when I did this one, what happened was there's a spring inside that broke. And in order to understand, once it breaks and you open it up, you can't, you're looking at a broken spring, you don't know where it was setting and how much tension was on it and this and that and the other thing. So I had to take a lock out of here that was still in good shape, still working. I took this lock off and opened it up to go to school to see where that spring exactly sat. And that's where I'm at now. So I'm going to do this lock down here. I want you to see this. So here's lock number 4, the 4th drawer. And in order to get a good look in here, I have to take this cover off. And the way they put these covers on, this is the cover where the number 4 is. This piece acts as the cover of the mechanism. The way they put them on is you've got some proud posts sticking up, 2 of them, one here and one here. And they stick up above the plate, and then someone takes a tool, usually a screwdriver, and just dents it in 2 locations, and that creates enough distortion in this post to hold the plate on. So now I got to get the dimples out to lift the plate off. And what I'm using is, this is going to make some locksmiths cringe, but I use a Dremel. I got this battery powered Dremel with a cutting wheel on it, and if I'm very careful, I can clean those edges off that are dimpled. I can square that post up and square that post up, and this will lift right off, and I can get a look at that spring. Now sometimes if the dimpling's not too bad, you can take a narrow screwdriver and get it underneath the connection between the plate and the housing of the mechanism, and you can just leverage that plate off of those dimpled posts. I just tried that. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to do some removal of metal on those posts. And it's a little concerning that they put this post right next to the keyhole. The amount of metal between the post hole and the keyhole is like 1/16 of an inch, which isn't much. You got to be super careful here. Not that if I destroy that, it's a super big problem, but I'd rather keep it intact. This one, you can see where that dimple is. It's right there. So I'm going to have to take some metal off. I tried prying it. It's not working. Okay, so I wish I had show you step by step, but I'm just going to show you sequential progress instead. I don't have a tripod. But I did take some metal off of those posts, right? Now, it's so hard to see that I use a loop. Okay, this is a loop. And this thing has got a little flashlight on it. Then I can examine these posts. Where am I? Here we go. And see what else has to be done to them. That's pretty close. You can see that distance between the keyhole and the post hole. Same up here. So I got this post loose. And the way you do it is you just keep taking little tiny bits of metal off. You can see how much I've removed on the plate. Not much of the post and the plate. So here we're looking at 200 years worth of dust and dirt. 1830s, almost 200. And the spring, which is right here, must have cracked right here. The other one was completely broken off. So now I'm going to have to get this spring out of here and put a new spring in. Now what I did is I checked the thickness, the caliper, and what I found was the same thickness is hacksaw blade metal. Okay, so I put the hacksaw blade in the vise and took that grinder, that Dremel grinder, and I cut it. Now, when I get the spring out, and each lock is different slightly, they're not, they're all handmade. This isn't partly production, but mostly handmade. So the length of the spring has to be exact for this piece here. We'll replicate that, put it in, it'll be a new spring, and that'll make all the difference in the world. That'll provide the pressure that allows the key to turn it up and down. To prove the point here, you see that, how easy it is to move that spring? What's left of it? That spring should be pushed against this post here. You see this post in the back of the housing? Jeez, I wish I had better lighting. Here we go. That spring should be right up against that. Right? Because the angle up here is saying that metal should be straight out like that. So to get it underneath this post, it would be under pressure. Well, it's not under pressure. All right, let's call this a bolt. And I got the bolt out of the housing. I had to take a little bit of metal off right here so that I could wiggle it out of this slot here. And again, all these locks are slightly different, not just on this chest, but on any furniture. Now I have to take this screwdriver and knock the rest of this spring out of this key opening. So here's the old spring, the two pieces. That's the piece that was stuck in the key right here, and that's the piece that was cracked and just hanging loose. So now I have to put these together and cut a piece out of this. The same length. Now the new spring is in. It's in the key. And you can see the angle, it's much different than where it was. It was just hanging straight down because it was cracked right here. The spring is caught in the post back here, You see it's got some pressure. Now the plate has to go back on. So that just went on with finger pressure. I just snapped, it snapped on, it actually clicked right on. And I'm snug now. What I want to do is now dimple this and dimple this, 2 places in each post. Now you can see the dimples on there. There's one right here and one right here. You see how this is mushroomed out. All I did, I took a screwdriver and I tapped, and now that's soft metal, you can't beat it. You just tap it and that'll collapse just the way you see it. That's all you have to do, gently. Gorgeous piece.